Forget the subtle spycraft of the psychic lure. In the covert world, sometimes the threat arrives not in a whisper, but in a flash, a blinding physics-breaking anomaly that shatters the sky and shakes the atmosphere. The Cold War demanded perpetual vigilance over Soviet scientific progress, but what happens when the event you were faced to analyze has no known scientific origin? This is the documented investigation into the Fireball incident, an incident in the 1970s involving a massive, high energy phenomenon that occurred near a key Soviet weapons testing facility. It caused communication blackouts, miserable seismic shock, and utter chaos in the Soviet apparatus. The CIA was forced to ask, was this a spectacular failure of a new plasma weapon, a hyper advanced Soviet orbital craft, or something that we must categorize simply as unidentified aerial phenomenon? Today we dive into the technical intelligence analysis contained within CIA RDP-84T, that entire series, where analysts treated a blinding UFO-like spectacle as a matter of urgent national security. The incident occurred in the Soviet Republic, in a region known for high strategic value due to its proximity to the Caspian Sea and its dense concentration of Soviet military and scientific research facilities. When the anomaly struck, the intelligence community's immediate concern was simple. A massive unauthorized energy release in a sensitive area is, by definition, a hostile action until proven otherwise. Reports of the event flowed into the CIA channels from multiple desperate sources: signals intelligence, SIGINT, a satellite imagery analysis, and eventually human intelligence from local informants tracking Soviet military confusion. These reports consistently described: 1. A massive light signature, visible for hundreds of miles, described as a bluish-white sphere followed by a rapidly dissipating long orange tail. 2. A communication blackout, immediate widespread disruption of civilian and military radio frequencies in the region. 3. A seismic atmospheric shock, measurable tremors on distant U.S. seismic monitoring systems, and atmospheric pressure spikes. The urgency of the situation is captured in an early CIA RDP-84T technical intelligence alert. It says, quote, confirming multiple source acquisitions of high-energy atmospheric anomaly near redacted facility, observed energy release profile inconsistent with known orbital reentry models, immediate assessment required to rule out unconventional atmospheric or plasma weapons test, end quote. This quote proves the analysts immediately moved past space junk and into the possibility of a new Soviet weapon. The CIA's technical experts faced a complex dilemma. The data gathered on the Fireball fit two terrifying scenarios, neither of which had a conventional solution. Scenario A, a directed plasma weapon. Could this be a test of a new, highly anticipated Soviet-directed energy weapon? If the Soviets had successfully managed to stabilize a plasma mass and direct it through the atmosphere, a truly massive technological leap, the Cold War balance of power would shift instantly to the Soviets. The communication blackout strongly supported this idea, as massive electromagnetic pulses, EMPs, are a known side effect of such high-energy physics. One technical assessment explicitly detailed the implications of a successful test. It said, and I quote, if the observed atmospheric ionization and broadband electromagnetic interference are attributable to a controlled, self-sustaining plasma mass, we must assume a Soviet capability for atmospheric warfare that currently defies U.S. theoretical models. End quote. Scenario B, unconventional aerial phenomenon. If it wasn't a Soviet weapon, the remaining analytical category was often simply UAP, an unidentified aerial phenomenon. The key piece of evidence here was the reported flight dynamics in the energy profile. Witnesses described trajectories that involved instantaneous velocity, changes in energy release signatures that did not adhere to Newtonian mechanics. A crucial section of the RDP-84T file, analyzing the raw observation data, highlighted the problem. Quote, trajectory analysis compiled from multiple non-military sources indicate non-inertial movement inconsistent with known atmospheric or orbital vehicle propulsion. Classification remains highly anomalous. Further investigation warranted into possible extra-atmospheric origin, end quote. This quote confirms that the intelligence community, faced with impossible data, was forced to consider the truly unknown rather than falsely assign the blame to a known but less spectacular source. The operational fallout from the Fireball incident was chaos. The Soviet military's reaction, a massive immediate security scramble in the region, provided confirmation that whatever the object was, it was not intended. The CIA exploited this confusion, increasing signals intelligence collection and attempting to insert human intelligence assets to track the recovery effort. The final assessment of the Fireball incident did not conclude that an alien vehicle crashed. Instead, the final document noted the strategic significance of the event was the confirmed instability in the Soviet high-energy physics programs. It forced the U.S. to dedicate new resources to monitoring exotic atmospheric energy signatures. The sky had broken, and the threat of the physics-breaking weapon was now real. The Fireball incident confirms the necessity of analyzing the impossible. When physics fails to explain the data, intelligence must invent a new category, and the most mind-bending possibilities often turn out to be the most compelling. We have finished the high-energy physics files for the day. Now we're pivoting back to the deep primordial threat, one lurking in the most ancient mountains on Earth. Next time, we are going to investigate Project Alpine Fog, the documented analysis of persistent cryptid sightings in the European theater, specifically the notorious Tatzel worm, the Alpine dragon, or serpent cat. We will analyze the military intelligence records that track this bizarre, aggressive creature, sometimes described as a cat-headed serpent with toxic breath in the high Alps. We will assess the operational concern. Could this be a new, highly venomous species posing a danger to NATO and Soviet troops in mountain deployments? Or was it a persistent legend, a Soviet-funded disinformation campaign designed to impact military morale and key checkpoints? The documentation proving the CIA analyzed invisible weapons and unidentified fireballs is fantastic, but the file proving they were worried about a serpent cat dragon in the Swiss Alps will be truly unforgettable. If the sheer quality and documented truth of these investigations is something you want to continue supporting, you know what to do. I'll see you in the archives, baby.